The first hour of light's often a prime time on the ocean rocks, especially when throwing a lure for pelagic species such as salmon, tailor, kingfish and tuna. Although I'm primarily here to bait fish, I can't resist having a quick spin first. I'm using a metal lure and I cast this well out and let it sink. I know the bottom's sandy out wider, so I'm not too worried about snagging up. Then I commence a quick retrieve, bouncing the rod tip to enhance the lure's action. And bingo, I'm on straight away. It's not a huge fish, but it's pretty lively, and on this light gear, loads of fun. I keep the rod high to soak up the fish's lunges, runs and head shakes, and do my best to steer it away from any shallow areas of reef and patches of kelp. This is where a longer rod definitely comes in handy. I'm also thinking about where I might be able to use the wave action to wash the fish up if it's too heavy to lift. And of course I've got one eye on those swells at all times. Fortunately it's small enough for a straight lift, so I swing it up. Success, and not a bad start to the day. And that's why I always like to have a bit of a spin before I start bait fishing. Nice chunky little Australian salmon there, and I think there's a few out there. Might have a few more casts with the lure before I put some burley in and start bait fishing. Perfect size for the smoker. With the salmon bled and in a cool spot, I'm keen to get back into it. I fire the lure out again and once more allow it to get well down in the water column before commencing my retrieve. In fact, this time I let it sink all the way to the bottom. And I'm rewarded with an immediate strike that fails to connect. Then a second later, I'm on again. How good's this? Feels like another salmon. There's obviously a school of them out there over the sand, and this one's a real performer, carving up on the surface. I love these things. I'm not so sure if I'll be able to deadlift this one, so I start edging my way towards a better spot to wash it out. But as it turns out, it looks like it's only fractionally larger than the first one. So in the end, I opt for another risky straight lift, but I'm pushing my light rod almost to its limits this time. Be really careful doing this sort of stuff. It's a great way to snap a rod. The worst moment is when the rod's high and bent at right angles, like this. It really puts some stress on those thin-walled blanks. But all's well that ends well, and I've got my second salmon for the morning. What a great start. Not bad. 3 casts, 2 salmon. That'll probably do me. I really should be getting into the bait fishing now before the sun gets up too high. But you know what? I can't help myself. I've got to have one more cast.